It's a new dawn. It's a new day. We don't even need rabbis anymore. We just get everything from AI, right? Hey everybody, David Paskin here, your Torah tech guy. Here on Torah Tech Tips to share with you some great tech for your great Torah or whatever content you're sharing. So yeah, there's AI, artificial intelligence. It has burst onto the scene in the past few weeks, and I wanted to talk about it here with you today, just a little bit. So you've probably heard prior to the release of the AI technology that does chat, you've probably seen or heard of AI that does images. So you can type some strange something in, a rhinoceros with dog ears in the style of Van Gogh, and it would create something. Now, what's important to know about all these technologies is that it's not going out and searching on the web like Google does and finding that thing. It is actually creating it based on what it knows, the trillions of points of information that it has accumulated over its lifespan. Well, the same is true with AI chat. And so here is the big AI chat that everyone's been talking about, ChatGPT. The idea with ChatGPT is, like I said before, you just type something in and then it will spit out not just an answer, but perhaps a whole story. So let's see. Let's do, let me get over here and we'll say, write me a story about Hanukkah. What should we say? In the style of Lord of the Rings. I actually don't know much about Lord of the Rings, but let's see what this can do. Now, it can be slow at times because there are millions of people who are jumping on and trying this and using it. So we'll see if it pops anything out. Once upon a time in the land of Israel, there was a great kingdom ruled by the Maccabees, a group of brave warriors who had fought and won a great battle against the Greek Empire. The Maccabees were determined to protect their people and their religion, so they did so with honor and courage. One year, as the winter solstice approached, the Maccabees prepared to celebrate the Festival of Lights, known as Hanukkah. It was a time of joy and celebration as the Maccabees remembered the miraculous events that had taken place many years before. As the Maccabees gathered in the great hall of the palace, they were joined by their wise leader, Judah the Maccabee, who had led the fight against the Greeks and was now hailed as a hero. Judah stood before the people, yada, yada, yada. Okay. All right, still going. Maccabees listened intently as Judah spoke of the miracle of the oil, which had burned for 8 days and 8 nights. So, I don't know. You all tell me. Is this in the style of Lord of the Rings? One of the things it says, by the way, is that it's not great with information that just came out post 2021. So maybe that was a limitation on this one. I was really interested because as a rabbi, I wanted to know, how is it going to handle Jewish topics? So I actually put in, write me a Devar Torah about Parshat Vayeshev incorporating a mysterious alien. And what it spit out was kind of amazing, actually. Parshat Vayeshev tells the story of Joseph and his brothers who were jealous of Joseph and ultimately sold him into slavery in Egypt. It's a story of betrayal, forgiveness, and the ultimate rise of Joseph to a position of power and influence in Egypt. Not bad so far, right? Check this out. One way to interpret this story is to think about the role of the alien in the narrative. In this case, the alien could represent the outsider or foreigner who is thrust into a new and unfamiliar situation. Joseph is the outsider, is sold into slavery, and must navigate a strange and hostile land in order to survive. Really interesting. Through his determination and intelligence, Joseph rises to the top and becomes a powerful figure in Egypt. Despite the challenges he faced, he never gave up and ultimately found success. It goes on, and then here we go back to the alien thing at the bottom. Just as Joseph was able to overcome the challenges he faced and find success in a foreign land, we too can overcome the obstacles in our own lives and achieve our goals. We must remember to never give up and to always believe in ourselves, no matter how different or alien we may seem to others. Wow. Kind of amazing, right? Now, that isn't exactly what I was thinking when I typed this prompt in. I was thinking that maybe they would, replace Joseph with a mysterious alien. But it actually did better than what I was asking. It gave me something I could actually use, which is kind of amazing. So let's do another example. So let's go even deeper and see how much of Torah it can really deal with. So let's see. This week's parsha it's Miketz, right? Yes, it's Miketz. All right. So let's see. Write a Devar Torah about Parshat Miketz, including Rashi's interpretation. Let's see if it knows who Rashi is. I could actually understand how it might be able to find a certain Torah portion, but doesn't know who Rashi is. Parshat Miketz, the 10th portion of the book of Genesis, tells the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his brothers, yada, 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 yada. Rashi, a medieval French rabbi and commentator, offers an interesting interpretation of this story. He points out that the cupbearer and baker were both incarcerated for a sin they had committed against Pharaoh. The cupbearer, who was responsible for serving Pharaoh's wine, had become intoxicated and failed in his duties, while the baker had neglected to properly prepare Pharaoh's food. Rashi explains that the dreams that Joseph interpreted for the cupbearer and baker were actually a message from God intended to bring the two men to repentance. The cupbearer's dream in which he saw a vine with 3 branches represented the 3 years he had been in prison. The baker's dream in which he saw 3 baskets of bread on his head symbolized the 3 years of his punishment. Through Joseph's interpretation of those dreams, the cupbearer and baker were able to understand the significance of their imprisonment and the opportunity it presented for them to atone for their sins. They were able to repent and return to Pharaoh's good graces, ultimately being released from prison. This interpretation of Parshat Miketz highlights the idea that even difficult circumstances can be a chance for us to learn and grow. We can use our challenges as opportunities to reflect on our actions and make amends for our wrongdoing. May we all take this lesson to heart and strive to make the most of every situation, no matter how difficult it may seem. So I would have to actually go back and look at how Rashi handles some of his commentaries in this parsha, but taken at face value, not bad. Not bad at all, right? Now, ChatGPT says that some of it may be inaccurate. And one of the things that I found incidentally is that if I say, write me a Devar Torah about this week's Torah portion, it actually doesn't find the right Torah portion. And so it's important, you'll see it come up here in a second. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Vayera, which it isn't. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Miketz. So it's not getting it all right. And so it would be important if you used ChatGPT to actually go to Rashi, maybe over on Sefaria, and look it up. Does he really say that? This type of technology is not just limited to ChatGPT, which is eventually going to be monetized, and you will have to pay for its service. But, and I don't know if you know this, but over on Canva.com, they just released Docs. And so if you go into Canva Docs, if you don't have access to this yet, you could request access. And if you type, they have something called Magic Write. So if I type /magic, it's going to open up their Magic Write prompt. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you. And let's see, how about write, oops, I have to click in here. Write me a, what do we want to say? Write me a short summary of Moby Dick. So here's something interesting. We detected language or topics that may not meet our acceptable use policy. Now, I've seen, I've heard that over on ChatGPT, they also have some guardrails up. On Canva, I've seen even more. If you type in the word child, it actually won't. I was searching for, I forget what it was. I wanted a picture of a child playing on a playground, and it actually would, because they have AI in photo or image generating also, but it actually wouldn't do that. So write me a short story of a short summary of what's the name of another book. Well, let's just do the book of Genesis, since we're doing Torah here. So let's see how this same idea that's built right into Canva, works. The book of Genesis is the first book of the Bible and tells the story of God creating the world and all that is in it. It tells of the fall of man and God's covenant with Abraham and his descendants. It also contains the stories of Noah and the flood, Abraham and Isaac, Jacob and Esau, Joseph and his brothers, the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. Okay, not sure about that. It is an essential part of the Bible that provides important information about God, his covenant with his people, and his plan to redeem the world. I really wish they would get rid of the hises, but I understand that they're not ready for that yet. So there's definitely some errors in here, but this same functionality that everyone got all excited about ChatGPT is built right into Canva Docs, which I believe sort of hit the scene about a week before ChatGPT. I also wanted to find out if you could use Hebrew in Canva. So let's do magic write again. Again, you just type /magic write, and let's do tell me how to light the Chanukiah. Let's see if it knows what a Chanukiah is. It's working. Lighting the Chanukiah is a beautiful tradition that is celebrated during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. To begin, place the Chanukiah, in a place where it can be seen and clearly lit. Fill the cups with the Chanukiah with oil. It's interesting. They're giving you the traditional way of doing it. If you're using a pre-filled cup, skip this step. Place a cotton wick in each cup and then light the shamash on the middle candle. Starting with the candle on the far right, light each candle from the shamash one at a time, going from right to left. That's incorrect. After the candles are lit, recite a special blessing in Hebrew. After the blessing, you can enjoy the light of the Chanukiah. So interesting. Canva got a few things wrong here. Let's see. I wonder how ChatGPT would do with that. I want to copy exactly what I wrote here. Tell me how to light the Chanukiah. Let's see how ChatGPT does with this. See if it's any better. So we're asking both Canva and ChatGPT, tell me how to light the Chanukiah. So ChatGPT says the Chanukiah, also known as the menorah, is a special candelabra used during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. It has 9 branches, 8 for 8 nights of Hanukkah, and 1 for the shamash, the helper candle. To light the Chanukiah, follow these steps. I like this already. It's giving me a list. Place the Chanukiah on a stable surface where it can be easily reached and seen by all. On the first night of Hanukkah, place the shamash candle in the center of the Chanukiah and light it. Using the shamash candle, light the first candle on the far right of the Chanukiah. It is customary to recite a blessing before lighting the candles, and it gives us that text. Continue lighting the candles from right to left, adding 1 candle each night until all 8 candles are lit on the final night of Hanukkah. Okay, that's also kind of incorrect because you light from left to right. You put them in from right to left and you add from left to right. So they both got it a little wrong. ChatGPT is nice. They gave me the blessing, which is kind of nice in English. And it also told me to make sure that it's in a safe place. So what does this all mean, right? Are rabbis, or maybe more importantly, are bar bat mitzvah students going to start writing their divrei Torah on ChatGPT? Or Canva Docs, Possibly. It's possible. This is only going to get better at what it does. It's only going to grow and get better at what it does. What I have been using it for is inspiration. So if I'm preparing a Dvar Torah about a certain parsha or a certain idea or Chanukah, I might type in to ChatGPT, hey, write me a Dvar Torah about this. And then once you've written it in, you can actually continue the conversation with ChatGPT. So here's that Chanukiah. Let's continue the conversation. How many do I need to light? Let's see what it does with that. I'm not sure if it'll understand how many Chanukiot or how many candles. On each night of Hanukkah, you should light 1 additional candle in the Chanukiah for a total of 8 candles on the final night of the holiday. And then it's going to go on and it's going to explain to me. Again, it was incorrect about how you, although now it's telling me how to add the candles in. Pattern continues till the final night when all 8 candles are lit. And then it tells me to be safe again. So you can have a whole conversation with ChatGPT, right? It will remember what you just asked about. And if you could continue, you can have a whole conversation. If you don't like what you got, you can regenerate the response. So I have been, and I can imagine people using this for inspiration, right? If I want to know, I can imagine asking a student to put into ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT, ask AI what Rashi says about this. And then the assignment would be, the learning would be seeing if it's right. We're still in a phase of AI where we still have to fact check everything. We still have to make sure that everything is accurate. You saw just in the couple of examples I gave that there were some mistakes. So a wonderful, I think, learning opportunity would be to have a student or students fact check ChatGPT or Canva Docs, right? To actually have them go to Rashi and see what he says and see if the AI got it correct. But also to use it as inspiration. If you just want to think about maybe the main ideas in a particular story. So what are the big ideas? And, I'm not showing this to you. What are the big ideas and main values in Parshat Miketz? So I might be preparing something for this week's Torah portion, maybe a Devar Torah, and I'm wondering, all right, well, what are some of those big ideas and main values? Now, of course, it's best to go to the source, but it's going to give us here a little summary, and then here are some of the main ideas. Providence. Throughout the story of Joseph, we see the idea of providence at work. Let's see what else it comes up with. This theme is exemplifying the story of Joseph interpreting his dreams. Forgiveness. Right? It's giving me some really great things to chew on, to play around with. So could I be inspired? Responsibility. Could I be inspired by these services and use them as inspiration as another source of inspiration? Absolutely. Is it going to replace kids doing their Divrei Torah? Yeah, I'm sure some of them will. I'm absolutely positive that the more technologically savvy ones amongst our students are going to try and pass some of this off as their own. And there are going to be times when it's obvious because there are mistakes. There are going to be other times where it's not obvious. And so, as with all technologies, the challenge that we face as teachers and as clergy, as rabbis, is not how do we get people to stop using this, but how do we teach them to use it most effectively, most powerfully, as a source of inspiration, as a source of information, as a source of an opportunity to learn, to grow. So I want to invite you, go over to it's chat.openai.com. I believe you'll need to create an account in order to play with it, or if you have a Canva account, just go into the docs and you can check it out right there. Really, really interesting technologies that are going to change the way that we process information, that we generate ideas. Google is fantastic if you want a list of links that you can go to. But if you're looking for something more narrative or more chat-based, OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Canva docs, and there are lots of other ones out there, these are going to be a really interesting space to watch. While you're watching those spaces, I want to invite you to watch my space, TorahTechGuide.com. I have lots of resources there, more videos, great stuff for you. And if you need help, please do reach out to me, TorahTechGuide.com/help. I'd be happy to help you. I hope that all of you are having the most wonderful Hanukkah, a Hanukkah of light. Whatever holiday you're celebrating, I hope it's joyous for you. And I hope to see you. Am I going to be here next week? I think I'll be here next week. I'll see you next week on Torah Tech Tips. Bye, everyone.